Hey YouTube, it's me again, looking crazy. I do not like how I did my makeup today, and it looks kind of bananas, but also what I'm working with right now. Um, I wanted to chit chat with you for a little bit. This is an update. I I thought that was gonna be, I thought that was gonna be off my counter, and I just realized it's not. Got me some new glasses. Isn't that exciting? So what I'm working with here, this is my 33-week update. I am 33 weeks today. Very exciting. Love it. Do not love the boil on my nose. I have a boil on my nose. It is healing. I've actually had it over a week. I didn't realize it was a boil. I knew I was having some sort of issue. I knew that I had some itching, some hurting, some like redness, like swelling. I knew it was all there, but I didn't know what it was. And I was trying to keep it covered with makeup, which probably made it worse. And I'm trying to think if it was yesterday, I woke up and it was very clear evidence that it was a boil. And so I did a little babying to it yesterday and doctoring to it, and I haven't worn makeup on my nose for 2 days. And I do think it's finally on the mend. Oh my gosh, it has been a wild ride. But anyway, when you're working with that, I don't know, you just don't put that much into the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I have like this witch boil. Anyway, it's finally like, my nose has been very painful and it's finally better. So let's do bump date. This shirt is not a maternity shirt. I just ordered it in a bigger size and it's just not like long enough. It's like, it's too baggy. It's not long enough. But anyway, it's Frog and Toad. I love Frog and Toad. They're so cute. And so anyway, I just ordered it. And I probably won't wear it after I have the baby. I will say, I think I've gotten 2 requests now from people asking for a pre-pregnancy try-on haul or try-on. I did that with my last pregnancy. It was a requested thing, and it was like one of my highest viewed videos. It was crazy. So funny to me that people are like, they like that. They think that's funny. Or whatever they think. I don't know what, but anyway, if you're here from my last pregnancy, it's great to have you here. Feel free to leave a comment anytime. I read those and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So yeah, 33 weeks, which means a total of 7 weeks left. I mean, yeah, you can go 42 weeks. But basically, I think technically we go on baby watch, starting at 35 weeks. That is when I start my non-stress tests and, all of that. So I'm only 2 weeks away from that, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I'm 7 weeks out. The weeks have really been flying for me. They've just been flying. And so I wanted to talk about this week and how it's gone and what's been going on and, stuff like that. So I had a doctor's appointment on Monday and it was fine. It was just fine. It was just a doctor's appointment. He measured my belly, listened to the heart rate. Heart rate is in the 140s, good and strong. He's moving around really good. I think where we're at now is I've been feeling over here, I'm thinking feet. I'm hoping in about a week and a half, I get my last growth scan. And we'll be able to see really how his position is. I've been really hopeful that he would be flipped around, but I think that he is, because I'll feel like over here and I'll feel here. Here's the other thing about this shirt. I'm carrying low anyway. I feel like this shirt really makes me look like my stomach is just on the floor. It's so low. But anyway, yeah, I'm thinking feet here, and then they kind of float around a little bit, but like here. Back with this issue back here, I have had a couple of days where it just felt like it was going to go out on me again. It didn't go all the way out. I did go to my chiropractor today. I got like kind of realigned and everything, which was great. Heartburn, I've actually had, I don't want to speak too soon because I've had pretty gnarly heartburn this entire pregnancy. This last week, I've noticed I've had a couple of days where it just wasn't as intense. I mean, I still had the heartburn, but it just wasn't as intense. It was just cool. I do wonder if he is navigating downward. I don't know if I've necessarily noticed that he's dropped so much. Sometimes I feel like he kind of comes up, and then like right now I feel like he's low. But the last few days I've had different sensations, and I don't know how to describe it other than that. Even if I wanted to be like grotesque and descriptive, I still don't really know a better way to say it than that. Even when I was telling my husband, I'm like, I've had sensations. He's like, sensations like what? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, sensations where? And I'm like, I don't know, other than it's in the entire lower region of my body. You know, I've struggled a lot with my legs in this pregnancy and stuff, and I do think that it is because he's low, but it's even gotten more intense. It was a couple of days ago. I couldn't even really think straight. Didn't call my grandma, tell her that I wasn't going to be having dinner at her house. There was just like a bunch of stuff that I was like neglecting to do. And honestly, we can call it pregnancy brain. And it is, I guess, pregnancy brain. But like I truly, I've just had some times, and I feel a little bit this way right now, but it's not terrible. It's like not terrible. But if I'm like standing here, I'm functioning, and my kids want me to do stuff. I'm talking to my husband, people are calling me, stuff's going on, but like all I can think about is how uncomfortable I am. Or like all I can think about is if I could just crawl away from my own legs. You know, it's like my legs, it's rough, you know. Sitting down helps. I've been noticing I'm sitting down way too much, because like if I go to do anything and I can sit down, I do. And so I'm sitting down a lot. I'm sitting down more than I should be. I should be up moving. I should be, you know, all of that. But like I'm just looking for relief for my hip and for my legs. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's not, sometimes I have pain. Sometimes I have like, you know, the lightning feeling, which I know that that's a pinched nerve, and that's probably has a lot to do with this. And I'm like, okay, I know that. But then it's like just this gnawing, nagging, aching, radiating discomfort of just and it's like literally always there. And you're like, I just want away from it for just a minute. You know, that's just, it's how it is. But overall, I can't complain. There are people out there with like chronic illnesses that are really experiencing tremendous pain and fatigue and things that, you know, and so I count myself lucky, because I always say, you know, the thing about this is unless something else were to be going on or whatever, I'm looking at pregnancy, right? I'm in the home stretch of pregnancy. It's not going to last forever. So I have a lot to be thankful for. But I will say this week, that's been a thing. I feel very gross. I do not feel attractive. I have a boil on the end of my nose. I feel like I'm getting like bigger by the second. I've had some swelling. My legs, my ankles, my feet, my arms, my wrists, my hands, some in my face. My diet is not good. I need to change my diet. My friend yelled at me today. She did. And it's not because she witnessed anything. I just told her I'm eating more sugar than I should be eating. And she's a completely zero sugar friend. I am not. I'm eating enough for both of us, probably, really, if I'm honest. And so, anyway, yeah, she yelled at me. She said she wants to see me around for a while, so I should knock it off. And she's right. She's right. I have a lot of lifestyle changes ahead of me, and I should get on some of them now, and I know that. What else has been going on? Because it just feels like there was a lot of things I wanted to update. My hair, this is not really pregnancy related, but kind of, because pregnancy hair is a thing. My hair has not pregnancyed, really, that I have noticed, not much. I don't love it today. But anyway, I had gotten it cut, as we all know. And now I have some growth. So I have a haircut scheduled for next week. I want it to be more symmetrical than what it is. It's all like heavy. All of this over here is like heavy and lumpy, and there's all this hair. And it even wraps around to the back. There's all this hair. And then it tapers off. And now this is grown out. Sure, it's grown out. But I don't know. I just want a little more symmetry, I think. Let's see. Anything else? I was trying to think of other things that I'm dealing with. I am feeling him a lot. Like moving around and stuff, which is great. Little flutters, rolling around kind of a thing. And then upcoming, like I said, in about a week and a half, I have my my ultrasound, and then starting week 35, so that's in 2 weeks or whatever, I'll start my non-stress test. I have a lot going on in my life in the next couple of weeks. Good, bad, and ugly. There's a little bit of everything. I still haven't gotten around to selling all of the junk in my basement. I really just need to call a couple of my antiquing friends over here and just set up a time and honestly just say, I don't have time to go through all of this. You guys can walk around and decide what you want to buy, and I'll let you know if it's something I am going to sell or not, because some stuff I'm not going to sell, but I'm going to sell a lot of stuff. So just come look and see what you think. I just need to get a couple people here, because that's where I'm at. It's either that or it's not going to happen, you know. And I would like to be getting it done soon. I also have some other stuff. I'm going to have my mom come over here and help me with some things. And then next week I plan to pack my hospital bags. I'll be looking for a what's in my hospital bag video. Aside from that, something else, I spent most of the day today on the phone. And if you know me, and you don't, but I don't like being on the phone, like for a long time like that. It's one thing if it's like a friend you haven't talked to for a long time, you know, and I talk to my mom for a long time on the phone every day, and I talk to my grandma a lot too. So I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm saying I don't like to be on the phone. And I realized that about myself when I worked as a bank teller. I was like, wait, I would get home and I would be like, I don't want anyone to call me. No one called me. When I was working with the public and I was on the phone like all day, I'm like, nobody call me. I don't want to talk on the phone. But anyway, I was on the phone for the greater portion of this day doing exactly what I hate, and that was dealing with problems and situations. I had like 6 bills that insurance denied claims on. And so I'm sitting here last night, I'm like realizing, so like I knew I had a couple already. And then day before yesterday, I got another one, and I was like, what is this? I'll deal with this. I need to deal with all this stuff. And then last night, I got 2 more. And I'm like, I'm sitting here with like almost $1,000 worth of bills that like they're supposed to be covered. Like of all of these bills, we were only supposed to owe like very small portions. For example, one that was like $250 something, we were only supposed to be paying $31. And I'm getting billed for $255, blah, blah, whatever it was. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. So I'm adding up and I'm like, there's like $1,000, not quite. It was like $800 and something worth of money owed by us that should have been covered. And I'm like, no. What's going on? I really wanted my husband to take care of it. And he was going to. But then the way it all worked out, and this actually probably ended up working out better because I have all the records and, you know, stuff like that. So my husband like took the kids. And I had to call insurance. I had to call a lab. I had to call insurance again. I was on the phone for forever. I have repeated my name, date of birth, address, phone number, social security number. I have repeated all of that probably 20 times today. Bananas. But I think I got it taken care of. Because truly, what was part of the issue, or most of the issue, I guess, had to do with coordination of benefits, which everybody that I've talked to, and these are other, like, I had a chiropractor's appointment today, my sister-in-law's a hygienist, like, these are people that work with insurance, and I'm like, isn't coordination of benefits like what you do every year when you enroll? And so far, everybody is a resounding yes. But I've been told twice today that no, this is like they need confirmation, and it's random. It's not every year. It's not every 5 years. It's just like pulled at random. And what they do is they just start denying all claims until you get a hold of them. And then they confirm that you don't have any secondary insurance. Like, this does not sound right to me, but from what I gather, everything is good. All of my stuff is getting reran, and I have like a lot of other stuff coming up between me, my husband, and my kids, and all of them would have been denied from what I'm gathering. So I was on the phone for a long time today, but everything is getting resubmitted. My accounts are being put on hold so that I am not turned over to collections. And that's just like stuff you don't need. You know what I mean? I don't know what the heck. That was a mess. That was a mess. And it was not fun. I wouldn't have counted today as a fun day. Other than I did go to the chiropractor. That was fun. It wasn't fun. It was not enjoyable while I was getting adjusted. But afterwards, you're like, oh, yeah. Great. So, yeah. Aside from that, I really think that's it. Kind of low-key this week. I have a very active week next week. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of moving parts. That's okay. That's all right. I like to stay busy. I do like to stay busy. I do like it to be somewhere between feast and famine. But it's okay. And I like it whenever it's fun, like enjoyable, relaxing, like days out and stuff. And my husband, and my kids did that yesterday, and it was actually great. There's not been near enough of that for us this summer. Like, we normally, in the past, have been really good about it, and I've been kind of going a little stir crazy, and things have been kind of like whatever, because there's not been any balance in our life, and that has not been going on. And so yesterday was nice. It was needed, for morale, for my mental health, for everything. I pushed my body a little bit, and that's the problem with waiting till now. Like, I wanted a vacation like at the end of May. Didn't happen. I wanted to be doing stuff then. I wanted all this stuff I've been talking about doing at my house. I wanted it all done then for that reason, because I knew I would kind of peter out, and I'm petering out. Like, it's happening. And I can push myself. I can push myself some, but I can't push myself too much. Like, for instance, right now, I'm not loving the swelling in my legs. It's not terrible. I'll back up. It's not terrible. I don't know if you can see. It's not horrible. With my first daughter, they were like huge. Both legs, toes were just, because I had the preeclampsia. This is not like that. I think it's normal pregnancy swelling. If you've been on your feet all day or your legs have been dangling, if you see, I have like the higher dining room set, and like I sat from there for most of my day dealing with the insurance stuff. I should have sat somewhere else, had my feet up, and I'm bad about that. I sat in one of those chairs right there, and I dealt with it. And I don't know, it's just what it's what it is. Yeah. I'm trying to, I feel like I'm getting better with the reality of pregnancy. I've really had a grip on that for a while. I think I'm getting better. I have been finding myself thinking about having a baby again more often, and so I think my brain is wrapping around the reality of that again, which is awesome. And like having 3 kids, I know you can't really, so like I remember going from 1 to 2 kids, and I've heard people having different takes on all of that. Adjusting from 1 to 2 kids was difficult. Not in the respect of having a baby, not in the respect of, it was just going from 1 to 2. And I had like an insane amount of mom guilt. I haven't been riddled with that mom guilt just yet. And I've been thinking it's because I haven't grasped the reality of our situation. I have some concerns, but I haven't had like the mom guilt. But, which is nice because that sucked. I do think I'm kind of wrapping my head around the reality of having another baby. I find myself thinking about it more, thinking about having 3 kids more, thinking about even him being a boy, because I've never embarked on that journey before. A boy mom. I have nephews, but I've never had a baby. I had a baby boy before, you know, and so all of that kind of wigged me out at first, if I'm honest. It did. I've always thought that I would be a decent mom of both, but whenever I found out he was a boy, I had already come to grips with the fact that we weren't going to have any more, and then I was just like, I don't think I would be a good boy mom. I don't know. I'm coming around to it. Now I need to really get a grasp on the reality that I'm going to birth him. I'm going to be birthing another baby. Your body is going to do this again and get in the right headspace to do that. It's trying. My brain is trying to wrap around that, but I need to put in some work on it. But other than that, it's been going fine. This is a ridiculously long update video compared to the ones that I've done thus far in this pregnancy. But I just had some stuff to talk about. And this next week should be not much until the following week. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this journey. If you were here before and you're still here, that's really cool. Hi, thanks for being here. And if you're not and you're new, that's cool too. I'm really still glad you're here. Thank you for joining me on this video, and I'll see you soon for the next one. Bye.